Now that we've created the snow and starry night part of our winter landscape, we're going to add some houses and trees to make it look like there's space in our landscape. You're going to get some painted paper, and you can also use these shape tracers to help you create these squares and triangles for your houses. I'm going to use both pieces of paper just so I have different colors to use for my houses. And I also want to make sure that I'm making one big house, one medium, and one small, so 3 total. You could add a couple more if you want to. I'm going to cut out those squares very carefully with my scissors. Now I don't have enough of these tracers for everybody to use at the same time, so if you are wanting to cut a square without one, just make 2 straight cuts and then one going across and you have a square. I have my 3 squares lined up. Now I need to make the roof for my houses. So with a triangle, I'm just making 2 diagonal cuts along the edge of my paper to make a triangle. To make a tree, it's the same thing, a triangle, but the trees are going to be taller instead of wider like a roof. So I'm just making these long diagonal cuts along the edge of my paper, making sure that I have one big tree, one medium, and one small. Once I've got my houses and my trees ready, I'm going to start gluing them to my paper. You want to make sure that the smallest house is towards the back or the top of the paper. So I'm going to glue this along the horizon line of the snow that we made. Anything that is farthest away from us in a landscape is going to appear the smallest. If you're having a hard time getting your squares or triangles to stay on your paper, just hold down your paper for a few seconds and it should be okay. I put the medium one in the middle and the biggest house in the front. Then I glued on my trees the same way. Smallest in the back, medium in the middle, and then biggest towards the front. Mine looks a little crowded, but your paper should work just great because it's bigger. And then I'm going to add some more details. I'm using crayons to add a trunk and some lines to make it look like a tree. For my house, I'm adding some windows that are just squares and then some rectangles for the doors. You can use whatever colors you want for this. You don't have to use the same ones that I'm using. I'm also going to add a chimney here, which is just another rectangle and some lines. I'm going to color that in red. And I'm going to do that to every tree and house. I also like to add some little U's on the roof to make it look like there's a texture. This is my finished project.